Henshin a go baby, what's good guys? Yoku here, and ignore the do-rag, bro. I'm black and it's bedtime. Hoyoverse decided to release this information literally an hour before midnight, and I gotta get it out of the way. If I don't do it, I'm not gonna do it in the morning. So in today's video, we're pretty much going over the banner for Jing Yuan, consisting of Jing Yuan, Sushang, March 7th, and Tingyun, exactly like it was in the beta. Who would have thought? As we can see on the official Hoyo Lab website, we can actually look at all 4 of the characters here. Now, obviously, Jing Yuan is going to be the main star of banner, and as I said in all of my videos, pull this character. You want this character. If you did not pull Zila, you skipped Zila, pull Jing Yuan. This entire banner is OD. Getting Sushang, this is a break monster. I know in this particular, I don't really know what to call this, the month 1, really, meta hasn't really been established. I know we talk about meta often, but the meta of Honkai Star Rail has not been established yet. And I'm saying it here, I'm saying it plenty of times in streams and in Discord. We are going to see a number of different builds per character that just kind of start to fan out throughout the months coming along. And Sushang is one of those characters where her entire kit is built around the idea, the concept of break, and you're gonna see a lot of people trying to force crit rate or crit damage on her. And while that isn't necessarily wrong, I don't want to say that she can't do those things. I think that because her kit is built around the idea of breaking someone, then it's going to be much more efficient if you focus on building her around break. But I'll have a Sushang guide coming out sometime this week after the actual banner releases, and then that'll go more in depth on what I think about Sushang. The next one here being March 7th. We all have a taste of her. We've gotten her for free. She is the free preservation character in the game, your shielder, your tank, if you will. And I like March 7th a lot after using her, pretty much saving my life during a lot of the Forgotten Hall or Simulated Universe runs. But especially on the free-to-play account that I do have, March 7th comes in clutch. And being able to burn so much of my resin to get, not resin, I lie, my tickets, my Star Rail J's, right? My Stellar Jades to get Jing Yuan, and then hopefully getting all 3 of these characters in constellations. This is going to be huge. Now, looking at this from a free-to-play perspective, especially for March 7th, being able to get constellations for her or Eidolons for her is going to be really nice. She's the lowest priority on this banner, but simply because of the fact that she's a shielder, she's great. And if you somehow are able to get E6, that completely changes, or rather opens up the doorway for different builds for March 7th. So now you can actually use her as a healer, and this actually becomes a complete team, having Sushang, March 7th, Tingyun, and Jing Yuan. You might run into some energy or skill point consumption issues depending on how you're going about this team, but we could talk about that once we get into the team comps in their own respective videos. Next up is Tingyun, and I think Tingyun is, I mean, do I really have to say it, guys? Come on, you already know Tingyun is baby girl. She is the secret 6-star or S-star, S-tier character, 6-star. That's what it is. Yeah, she's the secret 6-star character that everyone talks about. The Bennett of the game. I hate that phrase. I hate it so much, but it's only because I hate Bennett. I don't think she's the Bennett of the game, but I do think she is damn good in this game. I think having Tingyun being able to get a lot of Eidolons, if not all of her Eidolons, to get up to E6 is going to be huge. She is the perfect partner for Jing Yuan. I understand that we all gas up Bronya. We love Bronya. Praise the Supreme Guardian. But when it comes to Jing Yuan and his perfect partner, there is no other partner better than Tingyun in this game, at least right now. Last but not least is going to be the obvious Jing Yuan. Jing Yuan is going to be huge, bro. I mean, I keep saying it, keep talking about it. He's an AoE monster, an AoE DPS monster. He is insane when it comes to that. Lightning Lord being able to back him up, being his persona, his JoJo stand, if you will, is going to be huge for a lot of us pulling the character. Now, there's 2 things that go about this, and I'll break this down in a way for my low spenders. I really don't have to talk to whales, to be honest, because whales are going to pull everything no matter what. So I usually try and not wean that type of content towards them or that information. But for the sake of this, for whales, number 1, pull the character. It's free. It's not free. It's probably, it costs money, okay? But when I say it's free, I mean it's a no-brainer. Pull it. If you can afford it, pull it. Free. E6 them for all you care. Get the light cone, whatever the case may be, go for it. But when it comes to free to play or low spender, as a low spender, yes, pull on this. Get Jing Yuan, get at least 1 to 2 copies of each of the characters if you can muster it, and then leave the banner alone. You don't have to touch it anymore. If your only goal is Jing Yuan, let's say you got super lucky or unlucky, I suppose, by getting Tingyun, March 7th, Sushang in the Zila banner or even standard banner, then you really don't have to touch or worry about the other 4 stars. Go until you get Jing Yuan, call it a day. For free-to-play players, you really do want to burn. Now, I made this recommendation at the beginning of Honkai Star Rail during Zila's banner, or even before that, during the beta, and I said if you're free-to-play, there are 2 options you have. Go all out for Zila, which thankfully we were given enough tickets and Stellar Jades to guarantee the full pity. So if you missed the 50-50, you could actually get Zila during the Zila banner. You can still do that now before this actually drops by the time you're watching this video. But point being is that you're able to get Zila as your main DPS character if you wanted to. I don't know about the light cone, but you're able to do that. If you didn't, however, you're actually able to get Jing Yuan, and depending on the event they give us, if they give us the actual event and the rest of the Jades, the recycle of Forgotten Hall, if you're able to get there, all the extra Stellar Jades that we're going to be able to get, now it gets into a point where you're actually able to guarantee pity on Jing and attempt to pull for the light cone without having to dip into real world money. I absolutely think Jing Yuan is worth the pull. I think the banner characters are worth the pull, but for the sake of finishing off this video the right way, let me tell you guys about the Eidolons. First, let's go through Sushang. Sushang is great. E1 is going to be nice. After using a skill against a weakness broken enemy, it's going to regenerate 1 skill point. This is basically going to give you a free skill point. And again, as I mentioned before, she is a breaking monster. Her whole thing is breaking the enemy. So this gives you basically a free skill point. This is really what you're going to aim for. If you plan on using Sushang with Jing Yuan, you really want to aim for E1 simply because of the fact that if her goal, her target, her main directive or prerogative is to break the enemy, that means that the skill point she used to break the enemy is going to be given back to you so that you can keep that for Jing Yuan and Lightning Lord. E2 is okay. It honestly really doesn't matter, to be fair, but it does help out with her defense. This is going to reduce the amount of damage she takes after triggering Sword Stance, which is her follow-up attack, by 20% for 1 turn. It's okay, not horrible, not bad, it's whatever. You got to go through it to get to E4 though, and E4 is the money maker. Once you get to E4, that's where you could stop. Huge stuff. However, if you keep going, and like I said, if you just happen to max it out, bro, whatever the case may be, and you get E6, you have now created a mini breaking Zila. Yes, I said that correctly. Zila's E2 allows her to have that double speed boost. Sushang naturally has the same speed boost built into her kit where she does her skill, the thing happens with the weakness break, and then she's able to get the speed boost from that. What E6 allows her to do is stack it twice, just like E2 Zila. Next, we're going to go over March 7th. Most of you should be familiar with her, but if you're not, it's cool. E1 is going to give her a little bit of energy every single time she freezes a target with her ultimate. This will be nice, especially if you build into effect hit rate, because her ultimate naturally has the 50% effect hit rate, or 50% base chance, I should say, to freeze the enemy. And then when you add a little bit more, and now you get 100% freeze. I say that with quotation marks because it's some formula in there, right? But once you get it, you get more energy every time you freeze the enemy. That's super dope because it gives you your ultimate back, which helps you keep the constant freeze going. And for those of you familiar with me on the channel, you know I love perma freeze, and any way that I can achieve perma freeze, I'm all about that. E2, after entering a battle or upon entering a battle, you're going to grant a shield equal to 24% of March 7th's defense plus a little bit extra to whoever has the lowest HP percentage at that time. It's going to last for 3 turns. Big deal, because 3 turns plus her own shield is going to be really big. It means that you actually don't have to start the game and then worry about using a skill point for March 7th. In the event, let's say that you have it on Jing Yuan or Sushang, whoever, and they come in with a little bit lower HP, boom, shield automatically gets applied to them. You don't have to worry about giving them the shield unless they really need it for whatever reason. But you guys get where I'm going with this. Now, E4 is really nice. E4 is going to allow her to trigger the talent again, right? Her counter attack whenever she shoots the arrow after the shield. It's going to be great. The reason this is going to be great is because now you get it 3 times. However, the damage dealt by the counter is going to increase by a new modifier. Now it's going to be 30% of March 7th's defense instead of whatever the attack was for the counter itself. This is beautiful. Adding an extra 30% off of her defense alone, and her defense is already going to be jacked up because she's a defensive character, and that shield is based off her defense. Chef's kiss. Lastly, we'll go over E6, right? Allies under the protection of the shield granted by her skill are going to restore HP equal to 4% of their max HP, not hers, but theirs. This is what I was talking about earlier, where this pretty much gives you the pseudo healer March 7th, if you will, and opens up the doorway for another archetype or another type of build that you could work on for March 7th. Not the greatest heals in the world, however, shields keep you from taking damage, and healing passively over time while the shield is actually applied to the character is going to be super beneficial because it keeps you from dying. Exactly. Last but not least is going to be Tingyun. Tingyun's Eidolons are amazing. You get any of these and you're freaking golden. Almost said a bad word. E1 is going to take what her passive does, or one of her traits, right? Her talents, which is going to give her the 20% speed buff after using her skill. And then E1 is going to be like, hey, I got a speed buff, you get a speed buff. So now she gets the speed buff, and then whoever else has the benediction effect, which is her skill boost, right? The damage boost, they also get a 20% speed buff. Now, this is huge for someone like Jing Yuan, simply because of the fact that you want to hit a certain speed tier when it comes to Jing Yuan, somewhere around 130, 134, give or take, depending on what you're doing. But having that 20% extra speed almost at all times due to the rotation that you're going to be using with Tingyun and Jing Yuan is going to significantly help him not need 134 speed from the boots and the substats and all this kind of stuff. So when you see things like this, the extra speed, you can always try and calculate that into your rotation or to your team so that you don't have to worry about getting such a high stat on a base value. E2 is really going to help him keep up his energy for applying the ultimate, right? Because right now Jing Yuan has a slight energy deficit issue, and ironically, or coincidentally rather, it is 5 energy. He's missing 5 energy from like the standard 4 attacks or 4 skill rotation to be able to keep his ultimate every 4 or so attacks. I could be wrong on that number specifically, but this is just rough math in my head and off the testing that we've done so far. But the ally with benediction, Jing Yuan, is going to regenerate 5 energy every time he defeats an enemy, so it gives him a little bit extra. So instead of the 10 that he would normally get, now he gets 15, and that's significantly going to help him. So this would be really nice for him. E4 is going to amplify the damage even further by benediction. So she's already going to give them her nice little buff, and then she's going to give them 20% more off the benediction. This is huge, awesome. You'd love to see it. Last but not least is going to be E6, which is going to regenerate 10 more energy from the ultimate. So instead of the 50 that she gives to whoever she gives her ultimate to, now she's going to give them 60. And this is going to be pretty nice for characters like Bronya or Tingyun. Don't put Tingyun and Bronya together on the same team. But what my point is, characters that have 120 or 130 for their energy, boom, boom, you pop this twice or you pop this once, they build up their own energy halfway, and then you pop 60 on them. Now they get their ultimate back and they can just do it again. This is going to be great. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I don't know how this banner review came out as long as it did. I apologize. I really hope you guys watched all of it, but that's the banner review. I recommend this 176%. If you're free to play, pull on this banner. If you are a low spender, pull on this banner. If you are a whale, pull on this banner. This is easily in, like, if I had a ranking system for banners, this would be a golden banner, right? A gold tier banner. You can't go wrong by pulling on this banner. The only reason that you would go wrong on pulling this banner is for whatever reason, if you're saving for like Kafka or something like that. But then even then, you still have 2 to 3 extra months beyond this point to save for Kafka. If that were the case, we don't even know when we're getting Kafka. Regardless, tired. But I've got one more video for you, double upload today. I gotta do the weapon review, the weapon banner review, and this is already long enough, so I'm separating the videos. Like the video, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Join the Discord if you want to. Follow me on Twitch, because we're going to be doing Jing Yuan pulls live Wednesday. Whenever the game goes live, whenever the update goes live, I will be live, and we're going to be doing those pulls. Come through, give your boy some luck or money, because that would be very much appreciated. I can't say my usual outro because it's inappropriate for YouTube. Smell you later.